Let's start our period for today. It's house taken over. Just a minute. It's yes. House taken over.
Mustar is
What do
guy
you?
Spanish?
Yes.
Oh, that means his
That's
name
Spanish.
sounds like this: Julio Cortazar.
Yeah. Julio Cortazar. When something is taken over, so what happens to this thing? Hello.
Yes,
Could answer
Yes,
my
yes,
question. When something is
yes.
taken over, so what happens to it?
conquered.
Yes, it's conquered. Maybe it's stolen.
Maybe
Hmm.
um, someone like um, ruled it instead of another person.
Yeah, could be. Before we
It
start,
is.
actually, it's yeah. Somebody enforced you to take this from you, so it's taken over.
Mm-hmm. In other words,
Before we start,
someone, for example,
yes,
someone forcefully taking your position.
you take your position, your possession. Yes. All right. Let's have an overview for Yo-Yo Cortázar, the author. The author actually was born in 1914 and he died in 1984. He grew up in a suburb of Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is the capital city of Argentina. People in Argentina speak Spanish. That's why his name is Spanish somehow. He's not a Spanish citizen. His origin is not Spanish, but um, most people in South America speak Spanish, by the way. And because he had health problem as a child, he spent much of his time in bed reading, but he grew to be an impressive man, about 6 feet 6 inch tall. His talents were impressive. After teaching for several years in Argentina, he moved to Paris, where he lived out his days writing and translating distinguished English language literature, particularly that of Edgar Allan Poe, into Spanish. He was interpreting the works of Edgar Allan Poe into Spanish. Cortázar remained connected to his Argentinian roots throughout his life. Alright, an introduction to this selection which could help somehow understand the literary work while reading it. And by the way, we're going to read it. It's about 5 pages, I guess. So we can read it easily. Although originally from Argentina, Julio Cortázar wrote most of his short stories and novels while in political exile in France. Julio Cortázar is most famous for his novel Hopscotch, but he also wrote short stories, including House Taken Over. Well, House Taken Over is his best excerpt, actually, which made him so famous. This story was published in 1946 in a literary magazine edited by George Louis Borges. Readers today can find it in the English language translation. House Taken Over is about a pair of Argentinian siblings who find their house invaded, all taken over by an entity known as they. So we don't know who the people who came and stolen this house. The story starts out very realistic, but eventually turns into magical realism. To talk about magical realism, in another slide in this same presentation, which is defined as any story in which supernatural or magical elements are presented as part of the natural world. Plot summary. When Unicorn short story has taken over, the narrator and his sister, Irene. So, what is the name of the narrator? Actually, as Fall of the House of Asher, we have no name to the narrator, but it's the same. It's gloomy, dull. So, the narrator and his sister Irene on a large house. It relates to their ancestors. They inherited it from their great grandfathers. And what happens is it has been in the yes, we're talking here again about this house which they inherited from their great grandfathers. So it was a large house in Buenos Aires that has been in the family for 4 generations. They like to think it preserves their history. This house preserves their history. And although they only occupy the front part, they clean the entire house every morning, front and back. After lunch, Irene knits. She uses the thread, the needle, and try to make cloth until bedtime. While the narrators reads, they keep the back access to the kitchen and bathroom closed, but the heavy oak connecting door between front and back is never locked until the narrator hears sounds coming from the library and tells Irene that they have taken over the back of the house. She says simply that they must stay in front and carries on knitting. But when they hear voices in the kitchen, siblings agree that they have taken over the house, the whole house. And the two siblings, I mean twins, decide to take desperate measures. The siblings leave their ancestors' home at the end of the story rather than confront whoever or whatever has taken over the house. So I want you to think and tell me about whom they get and take this house. Whom do you think are those people? You think they are thieves?
Supernatural.
Excuse me,
Supernatural spirits.
spirits? Yes, you can think like this. They are spirits. Maybe they are an army from another country. They came to invade this place, this city. Be thieves, as Kazim said. Maybe they are ghosts. So, what do you think? When we are analyzing this text, actually, we can understand that maybe this is a struggle between generations. You see this house; it's a palace. Actually, they inherited this house from their great grandfathers. So you may find that this is low class people trying to get their rights. So you can say this may be a struggle between the first class and the low classes. This could be. So what Iron and her sister try to do here is they are trying to behave as if nothing happens, but at last when they fear that they are threatened, they flee, they escape from this palace and leave it. They lose all their money, they lose their palace. All they had to do here is to escape, saving their lives. That actually we've got more than one theme in this selection. We can have the theme of family. Iron and her sister, they are a family. their ancestors, great grandfathers. So we have a problem of a family in here. So this could be a theme. The unknown. We don't know who are those guys who are going to take over the house. So the unknown is another theme. The biggest question in this story actually is who took over the house? The story is ambiguous and does not provide the readers any answers to the questions about who took over the house, because neither the sister nor the brother confronts the mysterious force. They would rather relinquish the house room by room. This demonstrates the siblings' fear of the unknown. Something unknown happens. Are they going to kill them, or just to steal the house, or steal the money in the house? So what? This is a fear of the unknown. They are afraid of what they do not know. Not only the sense of the mysterious force that took over the house, but also in the sense of life outside of the tedious, empowering routines. Apart from taking care of the house, siblings do not do very much and are not involved with anyone else. They hide in the house from the unknown. When the unknown takes over the house, they hide from it too, until they have nowhere else to hide. This is the major theme actually in this selection. Another theme could be an old generation is replacing an old aristocratic one. A new generation, it's just written here. A new generation. When we are when we are analyzing the literary work how it's taken over, we can get into this result, which is it's something like a prize, something like a revolution, in which a new generation is replacing an old aristocratic one. The aristocratic ones in here are represented by Irene and the narrator, and the new generation is represented by guys who are trying to take the house over. Have you got it?
Yes, we got it.
Good. The genre of this selection is Gothic literature. Gothic literature. Don't forget this. The characters we have are a 40-year-old Argentinian man, a man in his middle age. We don't know his name actually. It was never mentioned in the story, so we don't know what's his name. But we know his sister's name. It's Irene. And we've got the strangers who are trying to take over the house. The setting where uh, these events take place. It takes place in a large family home set in Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is the capital city of Argentina. So once again, the setting is a large family home set in Buenos Aires. Why is house taken over magical realism? Actually, house taken over is an example of magic realism because it has a mysterious ending. So it's a magical realism.
Because they are living
Good.
in a normal house, then
Yes.
suddenly, like his sister starts saying that we don't know who they
Yeah,
are. Said they.
that's right. And we don't know at the end what's gonna happen. Are they going to get help and get back to their palace again? Are the guys who are trying to take over the house are going to succeed? We don't know. So it's a mysterious ending. Gothic literature is characterized by elements. Here I'm revising what is Gothic literature, because Gothic literature and magical realism are literary terms. You should know what is the magical realism and what is the Gothic literature. Gothic literature, we said, representing characterized by elements like fear, horror, death, gloom, romantic, uh, romantic elements such as nature, individuality, and the magical realism actually is depicted by a mysterious ending. We don't know what's going on. Next slide. Actually, I'm going to start answering the questions of the comprehension check. But before we um, move to this slide, actually, we have to read ahead the text. I told you before, maybe it's 5 pages. Yes. So let's get page number 37 in your My Perspective book. 37. You get it, guys?
Yes, yes, the story, house taken over.
Sorry,
Yes, we have to read the background. Yeah, first we have to read the background, and after this, the text. In the background, actually, in 1946, when this tree was written, Julio Cortázar lived in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where Edward II had only recently ended. Was ended in 1945. If you remember this in your social studies book. And Argentina was in a state of political turmoil. There was no stability. The government was going to be replaced by another government. So there was a turmoil, which is instability. Young people, including Cortázar, were critical of a conservative elements in the government that had refused to join the Allied cause against Adolf Hitler until late in the war, by which the time communicates with Europe had all but stopped. The young author left Buenos Aires 5 years after writing this tree, where to France, to Paris, in protest against the policies of Juan Perón, who was increasing dominating Argentina politics. So we're going to read the text. We like the house because, who can read please?
I can read.
That's right. Go ahead, Kazim.
Okay. Um, on my screen, I can't see the thing.
You'd like me to share the PDF? Okay, we may do it. I thought that you've got the book, so you can read page number
I have a
37.
book, but I'm not in my house right now.
Got it. So just a minute. Yes, we are here.
Okay.
I'll make it bigger for you. Yes. Great. Go ahead. We like the house.
Like the house because apart from its being old and spacious, in a day when all the houses go down for a profitable auction of their construction materials, it kept the memories of great grandparents, our parental grandfather, our parents, and the whole of childhood.
Yeah. Iron. Next
Yeah.
page, Aaron and I.
For me, it still did not go into the next page because of the internet. I have to wait for a second. Okay, I can see it. Irene and I got used to staying in the house by ourselves, which was crazy. 8 people could have lived in that place and not have gotten in each other's way. We rose at 7 in the morning and got the cleaning done. And about 11, I left Irene to finish off whatever rooms and went to the kitchen. We lunched at noon precisely. Then there was nothing left to do, but a few dirty plates. It was pleasant to take lunch and commune with the great hollow silent house. And it was enough for us just to keep it clean. We ended up thinking at times and that that was what had kept us from marrying. Irene turned down 2 suitors for no particular reason, and Maria Esther went and died on me before we could manage to get engaged. We were easing into
Yes.
our
So,
fourth.
wait a minute. You feel that this man is boasting, or he is telling the truth?
Um, well, I don't see him sad, so I think he's boasting.
Yeah, I guess so. He's exaggerating somehow. And this is the customs of the first class, the blue blood. We call them blue blood. Blue blood guys. They always want to boast. They always want to exaggerate the realities. So here he's telling that one of his fiancées died before marrying her, and so he had many relations. He had even Irene refused um, two suitors. She was engaged twice, but she refused both suitors. Go ahead.
We are easing into our 40s with the unvoiced concept that a quite simple marriage of sister and brother was the indispensable end to a line established in the house by our grandparents. We would die here someday. Obscure and distant cousins would inherit the place, have it torn down, sell the bricks, and get rich from the building plot. Or, more justly, and better yet, we could topple it ourselves before it was too late. Irene never bothered anyone. Once the morning housework was finished, she spent the rest of the day on the sofa in her bedroom, knitting. I couldn't tell
Yep.
why she knitted so much.
Yep.
I think women knit when they discover there is a fat excuse to do nothing at all. But Irene was not like that. She always knitted necessities, sweaters and winter socks for me, handy morning robes and bed jackets for herself. Sometimes she would do a jacket, then unravel it the next moment because there was something that didn't please her. It was pleasant to see a pile of tangled wool in her knitting basket fighting a losing battle for a few hours to retain its shape. Saturdays, I went downtown to buy wool. Irene had faith in my good taste and was pleased with the colors, and never skein had to be returned. I took advantage of these trips to make the rounds of the bookstores, uselessly asking if they had anything new with French literature. Nothing worthwhile had.
Arrived in Argentina.
Nothing
Okay.
worthwhile
Do
had
you think
arrived.
that? Wait a minute. Do you think that Irene was knitting for saving money, or it's just a hobby?
Um, she, he said that she knits like for stuff that she needs.
I guess they are not in need to knit, and
I
I
mean,
guess
women
this
like
is just a
knitting a
hobby.
lot, so they do it
Yes.
to waste time.
Yeah, I told you that they were aristocratics, so that's why they don't need this. And one thing taken as a proof in here is that her brother is reading a French literature books. This was actually one of the traits of the noble people or the aristocratic people in this time.
Hmm.
So I don't think so. I don't think at all that Irene was knitting for living, for earning her living, or for uh, even saving money. It's just a hobby anyway.
Yes.
Okay, cousin, your last paragraph in here is paragraph number 4, but it's the house.
But it's the house I want to talk about. The house and Irene are not very important. I wonder what Irene would have done without her knitting. One can reread a book, but once a pullover is finished, you can't do it over again. It's some kind of disgrace. One day I found that the drawer at the bottom of a chiffonier, replete with mothballs, was filled with shawls, white, green, lilac. Stacked amid a great smell of camphor, it was like a shop. I didn't have the nerve to ask her what she planned to do with them. We didn't have to earn our living there. Was plenty coming There was plenty coming in from the farms each month, even piling up. But
Yes, well, this is what we are talking about, guys. Are they in need to this money for knitting? And well, the narrator actually said no. I didn't have the nerve to. Wait a minute. We didn't have to earn our living. We didn't have to work. There was plenty money, a lot of money coming in from the farm. They owned the farm out of their ancestors, out of their fathers and great grandfathers. In money, they said even piling up a lot of money. I mean, thank you, cousin.
you're welcome.
Next page. Who else can read, guys? You can read.
We have 4 minutes. Who can read very fast? Actually,
I want to read, Mr.
4 minutes. Just a minute. I'm not sure about this. Are we going to finish 120 or 130?
See, the exam will start. 1:30 the exam will
120, and
start.
then there's a 10 minutes break till the quiz.
110.
Ah, got it. So that's okay. That's okay. Yes, go ahead.
I read.
Yes.
Bismillah. Irene was only interested in the knitting and showed a wonderful dexterity. And for me, the hours slipped away, watching her hands like silver sea urchins. Needless
Urchins,
flash.
you know the urchins. You know this animal, the animal who has spines. You know it.
No.
No,
The porcupine who has spines. We call the spines urchins. We've got some animal in the sea like it. The urchins. Okay. I'm going to get you a picture to this the porcupine. Minute.
Porcupine, that like spiky looking animal.
Yes. Fine. Animal. Where can I find it? Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to search it for you. When I find it, I'm going to share it for you. So keep going. Read, please. I'm going to get you the picture. Whenever I finished, I'll tell you. Yes.
Okay. Needless flashing and one or two knitting baskets on the floor. The ball of yarn jumping about. It was lovely. How not to remember the layout of that house? The dining room, a living room with tapestries, the library, and three large bedrooms in the section most recessed. The one that faced toward Rodriguez Pena. Only a corridor with its massive oak door separated that part from the front wing, where there was a bath, the kitchen, our bedrooms, and the hall. One entered the house through a vestibule with enameled tiles, and a wrought iron gated door opened into the living room. You had to come in through the vestibule and open the gate to go into the living room. The doors to our bedrooms were on either side of this, and opposite it was the corridor leading to the back section. Going down the passage, one swung open the oak door beyond which was the other part of the house, or just before the door, one could turn to the left and go down a narrower passageway, which led to the kitchen and the bath. When the door was open, you became aware of the size of the house. When it was closed, you had the impression of an apartment like the ones they build today, with barely enough room to move around in. Irene and I always lived in this part of the house and hardly ever went beyond the oak door, except to do the cleaning. Incredible how much dust collected on the furniture. It may be Buenos Aires and is a clean city, but which owes it to her population and nothing else. There is too much dust in the air, the slightest breeze, and it's back on the marble console tops and in the diamond patterns of the tooled leather desk set. It's a
I
lot of
got
work
you
to do.
the just a minute, excuse me. I got you the pictures of the auctions.
You
It's
find?
this sea animal that has spins like this. These are the pictures for the auctions, like the porcupine we have on land.
I can't see. Ah,
Okay.
Oh, let's go here.
they eat it.
I don't know if people can eat it or no. I don't know actually.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe because somebody's holding a spoon in here. Can you see him?
Yes.
He is saying that it's spinny and delicious. Sea urchins. You see, delicious means that
But
people can eat it.
problem
Yes,
is that all of its spikes have a toxin on them, so
all of them.
like before they eat.
Actually, the people in Japan likes to eat it.
They eat. They eat everything.
Yeah, Japan and China, Chinese people and Japanese people like it. So I guess it's 1:22. So we can just read one paragraph and stop to give you a break for 5 minutes and to start your exam. So have we reached paragraph number 6?
I think
Guys, hello. Have
Yes,
we
yes,
came
yes.
to paragraph number 6?
Mister,
So
I
we're
say
going to read it.
we get ready, yeah, Mister.
You wanna get ready right now? Okay. Fine. We got any question before ending this period?
no, no question.
Mister.
Mr. would you
Okay.
upload the
What's that?
you will upload the worksheet answers?
Right, in a minute. I'll do it in a minute. You gonna ask me about something else?
No, thank you.
Yes, yes.
On the worksheet and the answers or no?
Well, the problem is I don't want you to give the answers from the worksheets. If you asking me before this, it was okay. You wanna study, but right now you wanna give the answers from the worksheet.
Mister,
So
I told you before, but you don't download it.
okay. So let's end up this period, and you can find it in the attachments. Okay.
Mister,
Mister,
the worksheet of the
Yeah.
firehouse of Usher. The
Yes.
firehouse of Usher.
Yes.
Mister, how we enter the exam? Where it will come?
In which part on class zero, I mean?
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh. Well, I'll tell you just a minute. You're gonna find it. You're gonna find the notification whenever you open up your Classera account. You're gonna find a notification that you have quizzes. All you have to do is just to press finger just press the quiz. It's gonna open with you.
It will come in the exams section.
Yes,
Okay.
fine. So goodbye for now in order to have, yes, 2 or 3 minutes to upload the worksheet for you. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Goodbye.
عليكم السلام.
Bye.